I think Stephen Sondheim is the greatest living composer we have. And I've been so fortunate to be able to work with him in my career, and now, especially having this close relationship with him on this film, has been amazing. You know, he's so many things. I mean, one of the things I know that actors love singing his material because he is an actor himself in a way. You know, he writes for the character and specifically for everything about that character. Their wants, their needs, their fears, the vulnerability, their joy. Cinderella has a song called On the Steps of the Palace. And on stage, the action of the song has happened off stage. So then she comes on stage and speaks directly to the audience and tells the audience what has just happened to her. Well, you can't really do that on film because there isn't supposed to be an audience there. You know, in a theater, you're sitting in a very sort of artificial place where there's an audience and a stage and a proscenium, etc. But on film, it's a very realistic medium. So it has to seem very real, and it has to happen sort of in the moment. So we reconceived that, the three of us, myself, James Lapine, and Stephen Sondheim as a team, reconceived this so that it would happen in the present. So that actually her number happens on the steps of the palace in the moment when she actually gets stuck in this tar that the prince has thrown onto the stairs to stop her from running. And then she has to make this decision in a moment. And we froze the action so that it all takes place within a second. It's a moment, but we've extended the moment. And so there's a stylized version of this where everything is frozen, where she sings her thoughts in the present time. And Steve Sondheim wrote new lyrics for it. James Lapine, reconceived this, and we sort of made it work for film. What's interesting about film versus stage is that, you can bring the world to life in a completely different way. One of the reasons I loved this piece and thought it would work as a film, because it's very tricky to find musicals that work, that you think can work on film, for many reasons. One of them is that why are they singing? That's one of the big things for me. And so one of the elements that I loved about this piece immediately is the whole opening, prologue, is sung pretty much. I mean, it moves in and out of dialogue, but it's pretty much sung, and it's a 16-minute piece. And it introduces the language of the film. And because you have that language, you then understand, oh, that's how we're going to be told the story. Into the Woods is a modern retelling of fairy tales that explores individual tales that we know: Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, witches, princes, etc., with an invented fairy tale in the center of it, the baker and the baker's wife, all wishing for something, all wanting something. And it deals with their journey and their quest to get their wishes and have their wishes come true. All these characters go into the woods to find, ultimately, to get their wishes, and then they realize the consequences of their wishes and what they have to do to get it. And you see how far they go to get it. Will they cheat and steal and lie? How far will they push it to get what they want? And is it what they want? I think that's a very important lesson. I think Cinderella's mother sings to her, "Are you certain what you wish is what you want?" And that's a good question. And that's why, even in the sort of heightened surreality of a fairy tale, in many ways, this piece is very much about the truth and about reality. I mean, that's what's so interesting. And then, of course, it explores what happens after Happily Ever After. And that's when we see those consequences play out. And it becomes, a darker tale, but you see how people pull together. There's a great deal of hope in the piece, too. Baker and His Wife. It's the invented fairy tale that James Lapine and Steve Sondheim created. And it's really us. It represents us as an audience. We follow them the most because, in a way, they are They are sort of the most real in a way. They're dropped into this fairy tale of all these other characters, and they very much want a child. And it's a unique relationship because they truly love each other, but it also brings out the struggles of having a child and what you'll do to get your wish. And I love the humor that they have. I love the warmth that they have as a couple. It's beautifully played by Emily Blunt and James Corden, I believe. You feel their relationship. You feel their pain and their joy and their struggle and the fun of what they're going through. And I think they really ultimately become a team in the venture.